Here's the blunt question. Is where wins meet the Wuxia fantasy we've been waiting for? Or a gorgeous buffet where everything tastes a little samey after the third plate? The opening sells a dream. You QTE your way through a big, glossy prologue that feels ripped from a crouching tiger set piece. The camera floats, the score swells, and boom. Massive biomes from bamboo valleys to snow peaks to dense cities open up in front of you. It looks like a next-gen travel brochure. The trick is what happens once you step off the tour bus. Context first. Everstone Studios, Where Winds Meet, launched November 14th, 2025 on PS5, PC, and mobile as a free-to-play open-world Wuxia RPG published by NetEase. The hook is martial arts freedom layered over a sprawling sandbox. Swords, spears, fans, umbrellas, rope darts, a dozen martial arts, 20+ mystic arts, and a sect system that actually enforces rules instead of being flavor text. It's generous and immediately overwhelming. The game throws systems, side activities, and currencies at you like flyers in a night market. Some players love that kind of abundance. Others need a minute. Let's lead with the best part because it's not close. Combat absolutely sings. You can feel the fight choreography DNA in the animations. There's stance, rhythm, weight, and a proper parry game that rewards timing instead of button mashing. It borrows the right lessons. Clean parry dodge reads a La Ghost of Tsushima, multi-enemy flow like Spider-Man, and still feels like its own thing. The stagger gauge creates real tempo, and weapon archetypes map naturally to playstyles. Spears as control tank, dual swords as blender DPS, the rope knife for trickery. Every path has upgrades, so your toolkit blooms rather than bloats. If you're parry shy, there's an optional assist that slows time and adds prompts in offline solo, which is a smart accessibility valve without neutering the core. Visually, it's stunning at a distance. The world shifts flavors quickly. Thundering waterfalls, quiet tea villages, towering academies, and performance holds up shockingly well for a F2P sprawl. Up close, the illusion cracks. You'll catch PS2 era looking textures on doors, stiff facial rigs, idle loops that feel placeholder, and cosmetic clipping on layered outfits. None of it kills the vibe, but it reminds you that yes, this is running a gigantic economy of outfits, mounts, and trinkets. Now the friction, because it's the difference between this rules and I bounced. The game loves to tell you what to do. Quests and puzzles are over-annotated out of the gate. Objectives and map markers practically solve early problems for you. And while later sequences ask more of your brain, the overall direction philosophy leans heavy. You can toggle difficulty and UI density, sure, but even on harder settings with a cleaner HUD, the hand-holding peeks through. That robs discovery. When an RPG world is this rich, you want systems that let you smell the roses without a signpost in every frame. The economy has the opposite issue. It's strangely generous for a while. You pet a cat, sneeze in a shrine, and watch the currencies rain down. On the upside, that removes early game grind walls. On the downside, unlocking new stuff rarely feels earned. Then at mid to late game, the pendulum swings. Materials for upgrades tighten up, cost balloon, and the treadmill pokes through the carpet. You hit a level cap, complete a world level challenge to push the ceiling, and with each push enemies scale up too. It's a clever gate from a systems perspective. Prove mastery before you level, but the result is a progression curve where you often don't feel stronger until you're deep into endgame gear. That's where the free-to-play structure shows its seams. There's a bigger philosophical clash under all this. The team stuffed the map with activities. Fishing, instrument mini-games, clinic-style healing mind games, dungeon crawls, faction politics, AI-driven NPC chats where you type to befriend someone, and that relationship can go sideways if they pickpocket their neighbor. That last bit is wild, and when it hits, it's the kind of emergent storytelling I want in big sandboxes. The problem is menu bloat and onboarding. You'll unlock a page, then another, then a subsystem within a tab inside a codex you forgot existed. The first few hours are a fire hose without a cup. It's the open world paradox. Breadth without curation turns adventure into homework. Let's contrast what others are saying and why they're both right. One camp praises the spectacle and combat, calls the world a marvel, and lands around a 7 out of 10. That perspective points to precise controls, tough but fair enemies, and a skill system that continuously feeds mastery. The other camp agrees on combat but dings the game for over-guidance, crowded UI, underbaked side mechanics, and a progression model that gets grindy and stingy later. There's also the texture whiplash and voiceover quality roller coaster. Main cast often solid, some side chatter straight out of a bargain bin dub. Here's Veteran Games' take after synthesizing the lot. If you came for Wuxia combat and wild verticality, you're getting paid in full. The parry windows, the animation arcs, the weapon identities. This is the most satisfying martial arts brawler wrapped in an open world this year. If you came for Elden-style discovery, silent exploration, and systems that reveal themselves rather than tutorialize themselves, you'll feel managed more than mentored. If you love tinkering through massive skill webs, joining a sect and actually respecting its code for mechanical gains, and sampling a dozen side professions, you'll have a blast once the UI stops shouting. If F2P progression spikes and late-game material hunts make your eye twitch, you'll start eyeing the exit around the world-level gates. There's one more design swing worth credit. Gating level-ups behind challenges is gutsy. You can't brute force your way through by grinding trash mobs and inflating numbers. You have to demonstrate execution. That pushes players to actually learn a kit instead of hoarding stat sticks. It also means the game's best feeling, the combat, sits at the center of progression, which is exactly where it belongs. The fix isn't to remove that gate, it's to sharpen the economy around it so investment consistently feels rewarding, not punitive. So should you play it? If the phrase parry heavy Wuxia with rope darts puts a grin on your face, yes. Dive in, set your UI to minimal, flip the assist if you need it offline, and chase a sect fantasy that actually matters. If you want a guided blockbuster with a big heart, and you don't mind the occasional texture crime or NPC miming their lines, you'll still get your money's worth, especially since the sticker price is zero. If you live for discovery, hate busy menus, and have a low tolerance for late-game grind or cosmetics ecosystems, keep it on the watch list and see how post-launch patches tune guidance and material flow. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your thing, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, toss a like so this take survives the algorithm. I'll leave you with the debate prompt. In a free-to-play open world this ambitious, what's the right balance? Early generosity and late-game grind, or a steady climb with fewer fireworks up front but a truer sense of earned power?